Right. Good evening, everybody. Matt Geary here. Actually, I just realized, I think. Oh, that was so good until OBS decided that it was going to go red on me at the very start of the thing. What a pain in the fucking ass. Okay, anyway. Welcome, everybody. Matt Geary here for what is going to be session one of our D&D campaign. We're going to do some backtracking as we have a new player, and we thought it best, as we've learnt as we've gone along, that maybe we'd start, well, not again, but we'd start from a certain point. So this is our D&D 5th edition, Legends of Our Sacrifice campaign. With me tonight we have Danny as Galandra Rivenstar. You need to push to talk, Danny.
I'm going to turn that off. Hi.
We have Michael as Tharaval.
Hey guys.
We have Pete as Draken.
Everyone.
We have Mark as Lance. We have Dave as Thomas Moonstar.
Evening all.
And new guy, our new paladin, Wes as, let's see if I get this right, Valashul Nostius.
Yep, nail on the head there.
Boom.
Hello everyone.
Right. Okay. Okay. So, there's a lot's going on. So we've basically decided that because we've got a new player, that we'd start it from a certain point, but we'd start the sessions again because, in the grand scheme of things, not loads happened. It was like we'd done like 3 days worth of game time, so we thought, okay, we can start from this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a session 0 video at some point, doing a bit of a backtrack on what's happened on our World Anvil site, which is here. I'm going to do some articles and things like that, so people, if you want to sort of catch up with what's gone on beforehand, before this point, then you can. Basically all the, how they got to Balon, where they are now, stuff that happened in Falcross, etc. But from this point, basically where we're starting is the group had realized that there was a insurgency happening in Balon, and now Balon is, if I can zoom you in on the map on the World Anvil here, is an island in the north of the northwest of Freya, which is the name of the land we're within. What's happened is, it's believed that basically there's an insurgency, a cult of Tiamat. Tiamat being the big bad 5-headed dragon that is trying to take over the land. The corruption, which is, as you can see on the map here, in the southeast of the map, is basically trying to worm its way inland with assaults on Al-Zaharak, which is in the west, Elastria. Is it Elastria? I have to get my regions up here. Elathia in the north, and Belmore, which, if for all of you who watched our one shot, will understand where Belmore is as well. But it seems that this corruption is percolating its way through the lands, and there's a cult has basically entrenched itself in Balon, which is a Bahamut worshipping land. Again, I'll go into the history of it from the World Anvil, and some of the Session 0 stuff I'll do at some point in time. Now, our group have been asked by Lady Athea Taunt, who's basically one of the nobles in the area, who the group saved on the first day within Balon from said cult, that they agreed with their plan. And the plan was they wanted to investigate the town of Suncrest in the north, just below Taunt, which is, so Taunt's here, Suncrest is here, if you can kind of see it. And they have decided that on their way to Suncrest to do their investigations into what's going on and infiltrate the town, that they'd stop off in the chapel of Marduk, where Galandra, Danny's character, was to talk to the local deacon about her dreams, about her nightmares. Solden, who was the former paladin, agreed to go with. The whole party went. They got ambushed on the way. There was a bit of a fracas. They got past it. The mercenaries ran away. They got to the chapel, or the chapel, or is it the chapel? Did I call it the chapel?
Temple?
Yeah, the Temple of Marduk. Yeah, the Temple of Marduk. They got there pretty much unscathed and made camp for the night. They go in, and that leads us on to this. Now, what happens is actually, I'm going to put you onto a bigger map here, just so people can kind of see what's going on. Okay, so what happened here is they've met the deacon in this sort of holiest of holies of the temple, and within it is this sort of very sacred crystal. They've tried to talk to the deacon about why these dreams are happening and things, and Solden, the former paladin, has touched the crystal and basically been sort of snapped into this sort of trance and has sort of fallen down onto the ground. Unfortunately, within that trance, he's died. The story behind that is quite a long one, but basically started off sort of him questioning Bahamut, or an old man he was talking to, about what was going on, what was going on with with Galandra, what was going on in the world, etc. And then the sky starts cracking within his dream, and that is partially down to the fact that Thomas Moonstar has himself a vessel that contains some dark essence, and with that vessel, coupled with the sort of darkness that sort of unfortunately resides within Galandra, it has cracked the crystal and started to corrupt it. Unfortunately, Solden wasn't able to, I would say wasn't able to, but wasn't willing to fight it off, and basically ended up dying. That leaves us to where we are now. So you're all in the temple. Galandra is beside Solden's body. The deacon has also fallen down. You're unsure what's wrong with him. He's basically started chanting with you, Danny. You were both chanting over the paladin's body, trying to sort of trying to resurrect him, not resurrect him, trying to bring him out of the trance, trying to bring him back into the light. And the deacon has fallen down as well. Let's see. The rest of you have been outside at this moment in time, so you were basically ushered out to leave, because obviously the dark essence, and they didn't want you sort of interfering with the sort of the ability of them to try and get him out of this this trance effectively. Now, our new character, Val, you were in the north of the chamber, in a sort of side chamber, where you were praying. You literally just started to pray when you too were sort of zapped into a trance and started having visions. Where we are now is basically you've come out of the vision, and Galandra has realized that Solden is dead. And go.
Am I going first?
I'm assuming Galandra will probably go first.
Okay.
Well, I can't cry on cue.
You don't have to cry, but it just sort of basically you need to decide what. Basically, Saul, he's dead. You're pretty sure he's dead, and the deacon beside you has collapsed.
Okay.
So
Well-
it's up to you to sort of actually, do you know what? I'll expedite it because I know it can be uncomfortable. It's easier when you're in text messages and stuff. So what it is, I'll expedite it. Okay. So you realize that the deacon is also dead. So both of these, your friend is dead, and the man you came to for answers is dead. They're both there in front of you. You're beside yourself with grief simply because you've lost a friend. You thought with the power within you bring him back, but you haven't been able to. At this moment in time, an armored figure comes walking, quite dazed, starts walking out of the sort of the side chamber of the temple's main sort of atrium, I guess, and looks a bit sort of perplexed and bemused. We can go from there.
Push to talk.
Push to talk, Danny.
It's on. I was pushing. I said, through tears, have you been here the whole time?
That would be you, Wes.
Yep.
I don't know your name at this point. Like, obviously, my
Yeah,
character
no,
is
it's
different.
fine. So Valashul nods his head, continues to lumber towards her, wondering what's going on. Doesn't really say anything. He's just kind of looking around, expecting the scene.
You've read the sort of backstory within the you know what happened.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You know what happened.
So
he
knows what Solden looks like, I guess.
You've seen you kind of know what's happened within the dream, so you have an understanding of what you saw or what you thought you saw within your vision. So
sorry for the state that I am in. You look confused. Are you okay?
I'm not exactly sure what I've just seen, but I was told of a new purpose, and this man here, who lays beside you, has asked for my help to protect his sister.
What is your name, my friend?
Sorry, I'm still a little bit dazed. Valashul Nostius.
You say that you saw this vision, and you have been sent into our path.
Yes. It would appear that way.
Galandra wipes a tear and stands up. Offers a hand to Valashol.
Yeah,
you,
Valashul.
Galandra, you saw him in glimpses as well. So within the story, you saw another figure who was present within the battle scene. So you weren't there for the entire thing like Valashul was, but you have seen glimpses and you do sort of recognize him slightly.
I feel I'm not in a fit state to welcome you. Please, the rest of our party is outside. Go through and meet them while I grieve.
Okay. So what we'll do there is then I'm going to just move back onto this. So this is good. Basically, this part is just going to be you talking it out. So you're going to have to explain to each other what's going on. obviously Val's new, so you're going to have to explain to him what you're doing. He's going to have to explain to you what he's seen and why he's here and things like that. So, Galandra, are you staying within the temple itself? Are you staying within the main sort of?
Just for like the first, just 5 minutes, and then I'll go and see everybody else. I just need
Okay.
need a minute.
Val, are you going to go out the door, or sort of effectively what will be sort of out here, to meet go out to the party? Are you going to stay there? How are you going to go about it?
Well, I guess Valasha would at least offer to help bury them if she needs that help, or if she's just going to grieve for a little bit longer.
I only need a minute.
Okay, in
we
that
will-
case,
we
he
will
goes
bury
outside
them.
to meet the rest of the party,
Okay.
get some fresh air.
So Val sort of will sort of like bow his head to Galandra, who is obviously suitably upset about the situation. He's sort of still slightly dazed by the whole thing, and this obviously, him being a celestial himself, is used to seeing demonic forms and weird stuff, but it's knocked him for six. And obviously he was also given something. He was given that shell, and that's affected him slightly. So he walks out, and the door's open, and you guys are basically not crowded around it, but you're sort of sitting in sort of like chairs and things that are sort of sitting outside, with some of the monks. And obviously the door's open, and you see this being in armor in front of you.
Draken rises to his feet and readies his axe. To illustrate us, basically, this is a new figure that's just come out in full armor. He's a bit twitchy.
Does
Who are
Thomas
you?
recognize the race of this newcomer?
Do you want to roll me history? You do not recognize.
Okay. In that case, I will get to my feet, but make sure that I'm keeping my distance.
I've been pacing backwards and forwards, and as I turn around to find him stood there, I think he might look familiar, but I'm not sure. So history, yeah.
Yep. You're too distracted. You're too distracted, and you don't sort of recognize. You just see a figure in armor walking out the doors.
I screamed it for a second, and I say, "Who are you?"
Tharaval, do you want to do anything?
No, Tharaval's just sort of keeping an eye on the figure coming out, but I don't think he sort of has any sort of recognition of the character or anything like that.
Okay. Galandra, as Val sort of opens the door, you can sort of see behind you, behind the scene, you can see sort of Galandra following you out. So yeah, they've asked who you are, Val.
Okay, all right. Valashaw looms in the door a little bit. You don't realise he's still got something clutched in his hand. He opens it up, and they can see the shell inside it, and then sluggishly replies, "Valashaw Nostius, do you know what's happened inside?" He asked the question to the general party.
Last we checked, two members of our party were in there, and one of them was unconscious. The other was trying to heal him. We were bed leave by the deacon. My colleague here with the axe was less likely to leave, but we do know that there seemed to be something going on with Crystal. But we've not heard anything since.
Then I regret to inform you that your friend or friends have both passed away.
Which ones? There were two men and a woman in there.
The woman's alright. Galandra, I believe her name was.
Yes. Okay, so the deacon has passed as well.
It would appear that way.
You. It's up to you to sort of the shell that you have in your hand was a gift. It's up to you if you want to discuss that part with them or not. Do you know which part I'm alluding to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's up to you. You don't have to tell them.
Tharaval maybe pushes past Val to go in and confirm what is being exclaimed here and to check on Galandra.
What are you doing here, Valashar?
I came to pray, and while I was pulled into some sort of vision. I'm not too sure what happened, if I'm honest. I'm still trying to come to terms with what happened.
Was any of the three that were in there in that vision?
I didn't get a good look at the corpses, unfortunately. I kind of came out to gather my bearings and get some fresh air.
You'll know Solden was in there. Was in the dream.
Yeah.
Say your paladin. You'll not know his name, but actually no, you will because you've heard it. You will have heard it in the dream. So Galandra walks out, sort of behind him, obviously crying, looking completely drained from a unfortunately ineffective ritual to try and bring him back. Not also losing her friend, but losing somebody who could have given her answers as well.
Tharaval wants to confirm, so he walks up to the altar to, as he passes Galandra, and sees her upset, he walks past up the altar and kneels beside Solden's body, in sort of confirmation that he is actually dead. He brushes his hand over Solden's face to close his eyes, and then removes some of Solden's effects, mainly the locket with the picture of his sister in it.
Okay. Do you want to add that to your inventory?
Yep.
Okay. Danny. He's still got Huthway's Bane. Did you?
Well, again, what I was sort of thinking was picking everything up that is of any sort of importance.
Okay, so you take up the necklace,
pass it on to whoever needs it.
Yeah, and then you can take Huthway's Bane with you. Okay, so you take him, and these as you go in, the monks who were sort of sitting outside in sort of prayer, they sort of rush up to Galandra and go, "Is he okay, Miss? Is the deacon okay?"
I'm afraid not. Both the deacon and
you're gonna have to.
my keyboard was too far away from my PC.
Okay.
The deacon and my friend are sadly now not with us. I'm sorry for your loss, as well as mine, as ours. Please go in and deal with the deacon how you see fit for your own rituals.
The monks are. They don't actually seem too shocked at the fact that the deacon's dead. They say, but he was meant to pass. He was going to pass his essence into Solden. Why is Solden dead?
Sadly, I fear the darkness was too much for him to bear, and he missed his family too greatly. Solden is gone, but I believe the essence may still live um, within this gentleman here. We still do not know all the details. However, I am hopeful that this may still hold some answers of some sort.
The monks sort of look at you, Val, and they go and they look at the shell, and you were gifted this in the vision, weren't you?
Yes. Balashul closes his hand around it, almost protective of the shell, and then conceals it in a pouch on his belt. It was given to me by a young boy in the dream. His name was Solden, I believe.
And they basically say, the shell you have is just a token. What you have within you is what's important. You have the light. You have the light essence within you. You have the balance now.
Balashul
This
just
balance.
So basically, what they have is you've got Galandra has a bit sort of part of the darkness inside her, and Valashil now has the light which the deacon has gifted to him. Well, he's gifted it to Solden, but Solden has been unwilling to leave, and has basically gifted it to Valashul in return.
I believe, friends, that this was a gift as so to keep the light in our party and carry on in our endeavors. Maybe finding more out about our new friend here, and he could help us on our quest.
Nice. Okay, so the monks they bow to Valashul and they bow to Galandra, and they sort of gingerly walk past you into the sanctum. They pass Tharaval, and they start to pick up the deacon. A few more also come in to start to sort of pick up Solden as well.
Tharaval takes a knee and holds Huthway's Bane in front of him as a sign of respect to Solden and the deacon.
I
So-
draw my maul and kneel, holding it before me like a staff.
Okay, so the monks basically they bear both bodies with great reverence down the altar, and they start sort of they go through effectively what is your what's the word, I can't even think of the words, when you're showing reverence and respect, and when you're showing your respect, so they carry the bodies off down into the catacombs of the temple. They're chanting in Draconic and in common as well, just sort of talking about the light and talking about Bahamut in being great and bringing about the end of the corruption.
I'm just on my knees at this point in silence.
Are you still in the temple, or make sure you still in the sanctum, or are you outside now?
Who?
If they're just
Me
if they're
or
walking past us, or
Well, it's up.
I was going to. Tharavel was going to walk
with them.
towards the rest of the group,
Yeah.
and kneel in front of Galandra, present Huthway's Bane to her, and say, I believe Solden would have wanted you to have this.
and nod my head and take the sword, look at it in grief, and place it on my back.
I'll need to add Huthway's Bane to your inventory. Actually, forgot to do that. That's one thing I did forget to do. Okay, so they've taken him off to the catacombs. They've taken the deacon off to the catacombs. It's a very sad moment. It's a very poignant moment. You've only known each other for 3 days, 4 days, and a lot's happened. So it's as much as the idiot paladin sort of got you into a lot of trouble, it will have affected you quite substantially. So they take him off down to the catacombs with the deacon, leaving you guys here. So it's up to yourselves what you kind of want to do, what you want to say to each other. You've still got a lot of sort of. You've got to understand what's going on. If Valashil's basically told you that he was being asked to look after his sister, Solden's sister, find Solden's sister. He said about seeing a dream. You don't know where he's come from. You don't know who he is. You don't know what's going on with him. So all of that stuff needs to be sort of talked about and stuff. So you just need to sort of do some fact finding, basically.
I stand and put away my hammer and turn to Valashil and say, "What brought you here apart before you were praying? What business did you have in this part of the world?"
Valashul looks Lance over and ponders for a minute how long he's been in the area. He'd only come to pray, and then he starts explaining. I arrived in the south far from these lands. I was helping refugees on their way to Kyrilla, and then proceeded north just as they needed more help. And eventually just ended up here.
Who a group, or are you a solo paladin? Are you a member of an order?
It's an order you wouldn't know the name of. And it's better left unsaid for now.
Well, and
Why is it better left unsaid?
Because I'm not too sure you'd understand.
some of us are smarter than we look. We're told it's an advantage.
Forgive me, but I have spent many years researching this realm and many others. I may well be familiar with your order.
You'll if you want to give me a history, you can give me let's see, Galandra, you can give me a history check because you're a servant of Bahamut. Thomas, you can give me a history check. Lance, you can give me a history check because you would have come from Belmore and potentially might. Mark doesn't have a clue. Thomas does though. And Galandra isn't sure either. Thomas sort of looks you up and down, and notices the crest. What sort of crest is the unyielding light?
It would be the dragon head.
Yeah, so you sees the dragon head, and basically it says, I am aware of your order, and says, this is the order of the unyielding light. You're a celestial.
I raise an eyebrow thunderously and say, "Well, that's interesting. We're a fine
It
collection
is a
of
celestial.
misfits."
They don't know what the rest of them probably won't know what a celestial is, but Thomas is aware.
What is a celestial?
Thomas will now explain through Matt's words what a celestial is.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get in touch with Dancer.
Okay. I'll let Val
Okay.
explain
Thanks.
explain his
Thanks, I'm
thing.
already struggling here.
Okay, I'm pretty gonna get.
Don't worry, it gets easier as you go along.
Got learn first, rookie.
Yeah, you get. It'll feel weird to start when you're doing your first RPs. It feels weird, but you'll get used to it, and it sort of becomes second nature.
It's just
stuff.
thinking on the spot. I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's just sort of,
don't want, and the thing is, you don't want to say it in your own way. You want to say it, quite heroic and.
Well, that's not.
And then whenever it comes
Marvel,
to it,
but-
you're like, so yeah, I had a sword. I did this.
Oh
I
dear.
got on that first one anyway.
So what? I'm answering.
Well, yeah, basically a celestial. He is. The race is the. I've forgotten the race. Aasimar. And they're basically, humanoid, but of angelic. They're basically half angels. Celestials are half angels, and are resident in the realms of the gods. Effectively, they fight the evils beyond beyond the mortal realms. And that's basically what you say to them, and then you say that the order itself, the order of the unyielding light, is a it's you say to them it's a. Oh, I don't even know. You're going to know lots about it. You're basically going to say it's a well-known order within the Celestials. It's won many battle honors, and that it has helped many. And then you will say, within my own country of Belmore, they helped. They helped with the battle of Whispering Shore, which, as you will know from your history lessons, is the battle that sort of stopped the corruption from sort of getting too far inland.
I think I missed that one. I think I was buried in a cellar somewhere.
Whispering Shore is after your cellar. So Whispering Shore is basically you would have been sent off to find Byron at that point in time. So you're basically up trying to find him. Whispering Shore happened. Oh, actually, no, I lie. It happened before that. It happened a couple of years before that. Whispering Shore.
I think it was 5 years before the current time.
Let me just find it on the thing. I've got it down here. It is. It was 6 years before. 6 years before what we are now. So it's basically just.
By your calculation, that's about when I started hunting Byron, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just after. It was just after you had started hunting Byron. So you weren't around for it. You've been sent off, and it's happened after that.
So unfortunately, otherwise occupied while that was occurring. I was seeking somebody who was very good at not being found, though I have recently helped to rectify that mistake. And I pat the mace that's hanging by my belt.
So, Val, may I call you Val?
I'd prefer Valishal.
Fair enough.
Jackass.
Malishal, it seems like we are fighting for the same side. What was your quest? Where was your quest continuing before we met you?
So you're just going to go through your backstory then. So it's literally going to be. Well, it's up to you if you want to tell them or not. It's it's just sort of.
I know. I'm just thinking.
Be careful, he starts rolling dice if you think too long.
Stop. Oh dear, this is already hard enough.
Yeah, like I said, it becomes second nature, man. You
Yeah,
get to a point where you sort of you feel a bit wick, and you're just like, oh, this is a bit rare, and then you kind of get used to it when you get onto it because you don't know, so you're getting a lot of questions directed at you. Generally, it's me who has to think of my feet, so it's good for me not to have to think of my feet for once. So just tell them a bit of your backstory. Go from there.
I don't know where to start with it.
Okay, so they've asked what your quest is. So just say why you're here in. Well, you've explained. Did you explain to them?
Yeah, I said that he escorted refugees up this way.
Yeah, he said you're just going to say that.
And I escorted a family back to their home here in where are we?
Balon.
Here in Balon. I came up here to pray before departing for new pastures.
Sounds like you are good of heart. After seeing the vision, is this where you is this where you think your new journeys will take you?
It would appear that way.
Sorry, can I just clarify what all do we know of what he's seen in the vision?
Nothing. You won't know anything.
Okay.
Galandra has seen him and seen some bits and pieces.
What did Valishal see what Soldin's seen beforehand, the battle, or did he only see?
He has seen
the fishing boat bit.
He saw everything. So you've basically seen it all. You saw the whole thing. You saw the battle. You saw the armored figure. You saw the death of somebody. You saw the death of we saw Soldin up against a rock. You've witnessed the entire thing.
Okay.
You might have even recognized some of the people you see in front of you within that battle as well.
Oh, okay.
Valishal, if you do not mind, could you maybe enlighten us as to more detail as to what you've seen in this vision, whether it pertains to any of us, and where your path leads you from it?
Okay, so Valishal takes a step closer, looks him up and down. It's all starting to come back to him now, and he's starting to recognize the faces around him. You were all there, each one of you, in the midst of battle. If I recall, some of you had fallen. But hopefully, if that is to become reality, I will turn the tide in our favor.
Assuming you're not the reason it all happened, we just don't know that yet.
What did you say there?
Yeah, sorry.
What did you say, Mark?
So that's always assuming, of course, that you're not the reason that happened. We don't know you, so you could be. It could be that our encounter with you is what made our falling possible, and that vision crossed over with Soldin, with whatever was happening to Soldin, and that he was trying to send us a message to be careful. We just don't know. That's the problem when you're looking into the future. It tends to speak from several directions at once.
My friend, coming from the darkness deep I feel within me, I feel no darkness from him. I believe he is good of heart and is here to help us.
What link do you have to Soldan Solitaire?
None.
Forgive
He
me,
was
friend,
no one
but
to me.
you can understand our skepticism as to your appearance. A close friend of ours, who's saved many of our lives in the past, has died, and now a new figure is presenting itself. So you must understand, we need to be sure that you are of good heart. What can you tell us to settle our conscience?
If you already believe that I am the cause of the loss of your friend, or will lead you all to ruin, then I cannot convince you otherwise. You'll just have to trust me.
Saying you are, I'm simply saying that we need to be aware that one thing we have learned one way or another is that things are not always what they seem. So we just need to be a little bit
Galandra,
careful.
do you trust this Valasher?
Galandra looks him up and down, and closes their eyes, opens them a second later, and says that I have tried.
Oh,
Danny,
stop pressing.
press the button.
Stupid keyboard.
Do you want to put it on talk all the time?
I don't know how to do that.
Go into Discord. Go into the little cog at the bottom. It'll be beside sort of some headsets. You can see a little cog.
Is that better?
Yeah.
I'm not pressing now, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Cool.
Just don't breathe on it.
Don't do heavy breathing into the microphone.
I won't. Yeah, okay, so yeah. Close your eyes, open it again, and says that I have tried to tap into darkness within him to see if I could see any, and I see none. I see only light.
Then he gets my vote.
Tharval looks around the group and exclaims that there was a time when we all met and none of us trusted each other. Now we do. Then he turns to Valashul. He says, "Trust is earned. For the time being, I do not trust you, but over time, I hope that you will gain that trust."
Thomas, are these Celestials trustworthy?
From what I know of Celestials, they
You
appear to follow the path of the good.
you will let you know some of them there are fallen angels.
Yeah,
but
I'm just coming on to that.
Yeah.
Some of them have fallen. However, the Galandra has stated she sees no darkness in him. I am content for him to travel with us for now.
Okay, Drake and
no, we've lost
We've
somebody.
lost Mike.
Yeah, Mike's dropped.
Sorry, he'll come back on. There you go.
okay, it's back. Draken walks over to Valasher and looks him up down. Are you a fallen one, Valasher? Are you?
Valashul stares Draken in the eyes. if I were fallen, why would I be in such a holy place?
Touche.
Okay.
Second nods.
I look him upside down, step up and down, and step forward, and I offer my hand.
Valishul stares at the hand, a
Will
little
you
bit
take-
uncertain.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm not sure if you'll have ever seen a Warforged before, by the way. So, this automaton in front of you probably is slightly weird.
I've been here many years, and the last 6 I have spent an awful lot of time alone, hunting and traveling. This last few days, these people have I've watched my back and have earned my trust. I'm willing to offer you a limited amount of trust and hope that you don't betray it. If you do, I really hope that you Celestials are very resilient, because you'll need it. Will you take my hand?
Valishul smirks and stares at Lance a little longer, then asks the question, "Why do you need to hunt? You don't look like you need food."
I hunt to keep promises. I promised that someone who had betrayed his oath would be brought to justice. And he did. It took me a long time, but there are definite advantages to not having to pause to sleep or to eat.
That Valishul takes his hand and gives it a firm shake. Then you and I are of the same kind.
Oh, do Celestials have? Do they need to eat and stuff like that? I'm just not
Yeah,
sure.
they do.
Do they? Yeah.
They don't need to sleep.
They do need to eat and sleep.
Oh, okay.
Well,
They're half
on
mortal.
Asamar
half
do because they're half mortal.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're half mortal.
Very well.
Andrew
I'd
will look at the other hand that he's not shaking with. What is that you seem to be unaware you are clutching so hard? Just so we all know what's
Yeah.
there. That's all.
Well, Valishul did put it away in his pouch, but he
Oh,
gets it back
sorry.
out anyway because he knows what she's referencing,
Meta.
and then and then opens his palm and shows her the shell. It was given to me by a boy in the dream. The one who asked me to find and protect his sister as well as his friends.
Who was this boy?
I believe it was Solden.
Was he with his parents?
He was. I remember him
Right.
saying,
I guess he got something he wanted then.
it would appear so.
Yeah.
Tharval reaches into his pouch and pulls out the gold locket with a picture of Solden's sister in it and presents it to Valishul, saying, I don't know how you could have known Solden before this time or known of his past, but if this is what you've seen in your vision, then you will require this, and hands him the locket.
Valishul takes the locket after he's done shaking Lance's hand and pops it open, looking at the picture within. After a moment, he closes it back up and then secures it in his pouch.
My, what a big pouch he has.
Yeah, well, what a big pouch you have. That's what she said.
I can get rid of that now. Didn't have that.
Didn't hold on to that very long.
Well, it was the intention. I was going to give it to you anyway. But,
Don't trust me, you're already showering with jewellery.
well, if you're dead, we can still take it back off you.
I suppose.
You just have to remember not to open the pouch.
Right, Danny. I believe Huthway's Bane is now in your inventory. I just need to add it to your thing. So yes,
It has got in her crossbow.
That's gonna work much better than my crossbow.
I had these visions of her loading it into the crossbow to make a point. Walk that one off, bitch.
Does it work in the exact same way for me as it did for Solden?
Yes, it does.
Irrespective of my darkness?
Um,
Because I am
it-
lawfully good still.
yeah, it doesn't. It's not. It's not sort of.
Maybe it would start misbehaving had I been completely gone darkness.
Yeah. Currently, you're the sort of concept behind what's within you is you keep it at bay because of the power that you have within you. It sort of is kept at bay, including with the drinking. It's sort of it's kept sort of.
Which seems to have subsided.
Well, it's only been a couple of days and stuff, and we haven't really been near anywhere where it sells alcohol. So, in fact, actually, after the Battle of Falcross Bridge, you were drinking at the end of it. And
Yeah,
stuff,
that's
so.
true. Yeah, but unwillingly, temptation rolled the better of me. But yeah, Galandra needs to rest. She's tired.
Right. Okay. So, what are you? I'm trying to think because this is still the morning. This is still technically the morning. You haven't been in for that. The grand. Basically, what happened from the last one is you went in the evening. You camped to early morning. You went in. Then this happened. So you're talking maybe 10, 11 o'clock in the morning still.
Galandra does not mind if everybody else wants to search the temple, etc. But from obviously doing all that, I won't be in any fit state to run another 10 miles or cast any spells at the minute.
I turn to Galandra and
Shall we be there for the funeral?
Are they?
I think that was the funeral.
Is that
And
where
they
they
took-
use?
Well, they've taken him off down to the crypts where they would probably embalm him and embalm them and inter them in the crypt.
So I'll turn to Val, I turn to Galandra, and I suggest they both look tired and they should rest. And if the others wish to investigate, I will watch over them.
I'm fine with that if everybody else wants to search the temple and speak to people and stuff like that.
I reckon I'd like to go out to Mealbrenner, pick up the spare great axe.
Mule Brenner's back in Falcross.
That'd be a long walk.
Probably
Remember, we
Probably
established this after the
have him all the way here.
the stealth mule. Yeah, we can because we've retconned because we're going back. You can have him with you if you want, but I need you to bear in mind that if you have this mule, which is going to be he's effectively a follower. I forgot you also have Gregor. Gregor's here as well. We keep on forgetting about Gregor, so I'll need to talk about Gregor. But this mule is your follower, and he is needs looking after and stuff. If he doesn't have stabling, then feeds and stuff like that. So bear in mind this mule has to be looked after, or you will have a dead mule.
Okay, well, I'm going to go to Mealbrenner where he's been staked. Not literally, but as in staked with a lead rope to the ground.
Yeah.
And it's been grazing. Get the great axe from it, and then go to the crypt and leave it by Solden's body as an offering to carry into the afterlife, into the spirit world.
Oh.
The shell had. Oh,
Sorry?
the shell that I was given didn't really have anything to it, right? And it was just a memento of Sultan's.
It was within the dream. It did, but you've brought it with you from into the reality. As the shell, it is just a shell.
Okay.
It's you have now. It was the.
Was it Sultan's shell?
It was he was given basically what it is, it represents the essence that was given to him by the it represents the essence that was given to him by the deacon to bring him back to life. So the deacon sacrificed his life so Solden could live, but Solden basically has wanted to stay and see his family, and has seen you and basically thought you were you could do this, you could he's seen his flaws and he's seen the problems, and he thought you a better champion to do this, so he's gifted it to you. And so you've basically, as soon as you've touched the shell, it has zapped inside you. It's sort of like just gone inside you. The shell is just a symbol now, so it doesn't have any powers or nothing.
Yeah, that's why I could only see light within you, because that's
the
balance I can see.
Okay.
As for Gregor, you'll not know Gregor. So basically, Gregor is the apprentice alchemist that the group found, and Solden basically knighted. Well, not knighted him, made him his squire. He is very young. He's very incompetent, but he means well. He did save Solden's life in the Battle of Falcross Bridge. So he's quite beside himself. So he's following the bodies down into the crypt.
Blandra's been like putting her around Gregor during this time and letting him grieve.
Tharaval follows the congregation to the crypts at a distance behind.
Okay.
Thomas is going to go in search of a library.
Valishal takes Lance's advice and decides to rest on the steps outside the temple.
Galandra?
Yeah. Galandra's doesn't feel like she can grieve down in the crypts, so she just goes into a rest state on the steps where she is.
Okay. So it's Draken, Thomas is off to so Draken and Tharaval and Gregor are off to the crypt. Lance, where are you off to?
I'm standing watch over my two colleagues while they rest.
Okay. Okay. So you go. Thomas, you go to one of the monks and you ask him if there is a library, and he's like, well, of course there's a library. This is a very actually, that's not going to be my monk voice. That's not my monk voice. My monk voice is going to be
Monk.
My lord, yes, there's monk. My lord, yes, we do have a library. Unfortunately, it's not as what's the word? Extensive, yeah. It's not as extensive as the Grand Library in Taunt, but you're more than welcome to have a look if you want to.
Thomas thanks the monk and head to the library.
Okay. As for Tharaval and Draken, you follow the procession. The procession down into the catacombs. It's not this generic sort of dark place. It's very bright. There's candles everywhere. There's quite an ornate altar. It's quite large. In front of you, there's sort of there's flasks and things which all seem to light up as the monks sort of pass by with the two bodies. One of them leads the deacon onto the main sort of plinth in front of you, this big stone plinth, and another one. Another obviously couple who are carrying Solden, they bring him over to a plinth which is effectively sort of carved into the side of the catacomb, and they place him there. They then kneel and start to start to chant while sort of menials and servants come in with embalming paraphernalia to embalm the bodies.
Tharval stands to the right-hand side of Gregor and rests his hand on his shoulder. He says to him, "I'm truly sorry for your loss, Gregor. Solden was very, very fond of you. He saw that you had great potential. This obviously leaves you in a very difficult place as your master is no longer with us. But we as a group have seen you as one of our own. If you would like to join us, we would more than happily look after you and seek out the training that you desire. But obviously the choice is yours as to what to do. If you wish to return home, we would understand."
Gregor sort of looks at, he's sort of kneeling in front of the body of Solden and looks at you with tears in his eyes and says, he says, I never thought this would happen. He starts to struggle to sort of get his words out. He's like, I must honor my pledge to him. I must honor my pledge to you. I will stay with the party, and I will find his sister, and I will become the Dragon Knight that he wanted me to be. And he sort of touches the bracelet, the little necklace that Solden made him, with the head of a dragon on it.
Then it is settled. The end, Solden's ending, nobody knows where their path will end. But I have great respect for you that you are willing to do the most of the time that you have on your path, and following your dedication to Solden.
He nods his head and he sort of turns around and bows to Solden. Okay, Draken, what are you doing down there?
At the appropriate time, Draken will place the great axe, the additional great axe, either next to or on Solden's body, for Solden to carry into the afterlife.
Do you want to explain what you're doing with it, or are you just sort of...
Okay, basically, Draken will walk forwards with the great axe in his both hands. He'll look down at Solden's body for a second, sigh deeply, and then just gently place the great axe on top of Solden's body, as is. And just he lets out a roar to announce the arrival of a warrior into the afterlife, to announce his presence, and then gently, slowly walk out. Do not expect me to roar.
Yeah, the monks in the room don't seem to be too fazed by the roar, and carry on their chanting, and the embalmers carry on the embalming. Okay, Thomas, library, what are you looking for?
Library, so I am looking for books on Ogma.
Books on Ogma.
Very unlikely in a temple of
Bahamut,
but you never know.
Okay, yep. Do you want to roll me a actually, what's it going to be? Roll me investigation.
Okay, gonna have to wait for a sec because my Roll20's just crashed, so I'm logging back in.
Yeah, mine's
yeah,
just been
Mine-
kicking off as
Mine's the
well.
same,
I
yeah.
thought it was just me, but yeah.
Likewise.
I'll roll.
Mine's been very slow all night. It's been
I'll roll for you, Berthel.
Well, it's not just me then. That's fine.
I'll roll
Mine
for it.
seems to have come back now, so everyone should start.
Investigation. Oh, 25. Critical success.
10.
Get in.
Nice.
Oh, gosh, I don't know if I've got enough for a critical success one for that. Okay. Okay.
He might as well just appear.
Yeah, you. Well, this sort of thing. You're sort of looking through all these books, and you find one at the back of at the back of the library. It's very dusty. It doesn't look like it's being read very often. Like you said, most of the books in the library are ones about Bahamut, about sort of prayers, about the foundation of the Bahamic religion, and the cult of Bahamut and stuff. This one is, it's a book that it's a book that sort of talks about other deities, but it's sort of, it's written in a sort of a derisory sort of way, because obviously with monks are, they like to be learned and they write about what they find out, but it's basically about a monk who's been traveling around and finds within the land of, let me just, where's he going to be? He's going to be Dunine. So basically from where the where Danny's, where Galandra originally came from, Dunine in the east, and he's found some Ogma. He's found some sort of Ogma worshippers. In fact, it's going to be in Zugaz. I'm going to say it's going to be in Zugaz, the reservation. So he's found it while on a pilgrimage to Zugaz, which is the reservation in the sort of central north above Aswara. I'll move to the bigger screen so people on side can see it. So Zugaz is a reservation. It's mainly orc inhabited reservation. It's quite inhospitable, very tropical, jungle overgrowth, and while there, he noticed that some of the orc tribes, the ones that he could talk to, were worshipping a god called Ogma. And within the book, it basically says how they believe that Ogma created Freya, how it was, how it was him, how it was Ogma who sent the first orcs to inhabit the land, but when they got there, they were faced by foul, fell dragonborn, and warred with them quite extensively. He, obviously the writer of the book, basically says that obviously as you know, Bahamut created Freya, and the Dragonborn were the first creatures on. No, sorry, not Dragonborn. He created Freya, and the humans and begrudgingly the elf races were the first to inhabit this land, and sort of. It's just other bits and pieces, basically talking about how they're barbarous, how he understands why they're in this land. Is there anything specific you want to find out about Ogma, or?
No, it's mostly who he is and potentially try and find out why he would have appeared to me in the festival.
I don't know if you're going to find that in the book. In that sort of book. I suppose you might find something about it in other tales and stuff. I'm not sure if you're going to find it within a temple of Bahamut, to be honest.
No, understood.
So basically it explains to him that he is a creator god. It tells you the stuff that you sort of you already know. The book takes great pleasure in sort of pointing out that the orcs seem to be barbarous and without sort of without thought, but the Ogma, is meant to be a god of wisdom and knowledge, and he finds it. He's got these little footnotes and stuff. How amusing it is that these barbarians would worship such a god. And then obviously talks about the true god of Bahamut and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. So Galandra and Val was. Well, I don't know. The rest of you is how long are you staying down the crypt for?
Well, basically, once Draken has offered his axe to Salt and Spirit and Rod, walking out, he has done his part. He has paid his respects, and what he leaves behind is no longer Salt. It is just a corpse. It is just the body. Salt and Spirit has left that. Basically, Salt is not there anymore. So walks out sadly, but walks out calmly.
Okay. Tharaval?
Tharaval follows out Drac. He just taps Gregor on the shoulder and says, "Come find us when you're done. We will wait for you." And then leaves with Draken.
Okay. And Thomas, I'm assuming you're just going to leave the library once you're done.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so you'll all basically congregate outside the temple, where Val is sitting sort of on the steps, looking slightly drained, but getting obviously getting himself about himself. And Galandra's, are you outside as well, Galandra?
Yeah, I'm on the steps. I've been trying to regain my strength.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys wanted to talk about before they come out?
What, me and Val?
Yes.
And me, since I'm stood watching.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Is there anything you just want to have talked about before they sort of come out to meet you?
Oh yeah. I don't kind of remember if we actually recap that or not. I suppose I should pre-warn you, Val. Sorry, Valashol. That the did we talked about the essence thing, didn't we?
He doesn't know. He won't know much about the essence and what it is.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of going with.
He doesn't understand. He knows he has something within him that they've called light essence, but he doesn't understand what it is and what it does.
Yeah, that was kind of my intention. So the shell that you kind of brought with you, from where I saw you in bits and pieces, in what was that vision. It seems, from what I can see, that light was passed into you. Now, from what we believe, there is a balance in this world that we are trying to make pure. I unfortunately have darkness residing within me, of which I fight every day. This corruption seems to all be linked to. Am I far enough away from like the crystal and everything to say
Yeah.
the word you met?
Yeah.
Okay. We we believe the corruption is stemming from Tiamat herself, spreading throughout this land and corrupting many of many races and of many backgrounds. We are trying to prevent this and find more answers as to how we can push the corruption away. But as of now, all we are aware of is that there is light and dark, and we are trying to push forward with the light. She says in meta, hoping she actually explained that well.
Is there any questions you've got? I'll try and help you out. Obviously, is there any questions you've
Yeah,
got? Sort of there's certain things you'll know who Tiamat is because you're a celestial and you're probably fighting her minions quite regularly. You'll know. You won't know anything about the essence.
Well, I know what the corruption does. Like, what does it do to other races? Like, what does the darkness do?
All you know is the corruption is a vessel of Tiamat to gain control of the land. You'll also probably understand that Tiamat is not a present being within the land and needs to be brought into being to basically carry on. You might sort of understand that within the corruption there would be numerous lieutenants and captains and other things who she wills, who do her will and do her bidding. You may have even fought some of them, or at least aided people who were fighting them.
Can I explain about the fact that we've got an essence?
So you can explain that to him if you want. You can explain what happens. Yeah.
You actually want me to? Okay. I was just gonna say, oh, by the way, we've got an essence.
Well, you got to understand where it's come from. So he doesn't understand. Basically, he doesn't know about Byron. He doesn't know about what happened with Byron. So you're probably going to have to explain that to him.
Unless you want me to take part of that for you.
Yeah. Let Lance can cut in there if you want.
You want to interject? I believe my friend has could further explain as to the essence I mentioned.
So Val, as you may recall,
Only the DM's allowed to call you Val.
You may remember that, as I said earlier, I've spent several years tracking somebody who broke an oath, and I was asked to, how should we put this, take payment for his betrayal. He had been a captain in the name of the
Order of the Morning Star.
the Order of the Morning Star, who I am affiliated with, if you like. I had trained near to them and had helped them in a number of areas. He betrayed them, and with a number of their men, he disappeared after causing a lot of trouble. And I was asked to take up a commission to track him down and bring him to justice. Now, at the time, I was vaguely aware that he was associated with the problem of the corruption. We didn't realise, or I didn't realise, how badly. He kept me up a merry chase across the lands for quite a while until an old man crossed my path, and somewhat impetuous elven hunter, which led me to this motley crew, shall we say? But in the course of our journeys over the last few days, we discovered that he was part of the problem in this country, and we had a very brief, somewhat violent, and very final conversation with him, and we learned a few things, but we also gained something in exchange for having taken his life. We found that he was also a vessel for part of the corruption's essence, which we managed to extract, and which we are currently holding on to while we try to see if it's something that can be used in the greater quest against herself.
Okay, so OOC question: Is the corruption you extracted the stuff that Galandra's carrying, or is that different?
Galandra's essence is what's inside Galandra is something she was sort of given. She was given as a young child. She basically was of she's of a powerful sort of family of life givers who she basically got a bit power hungry, went off on her travels, bumped into a lady with dark hair, a lady with dark hair who offered to help her sort of control her power. All she would need to do is let her in, and Galandra has, naively, being quite young, accepted this, and within that, she was imparted a part of the darkness. It has controlled her powers and meant that she was she was able to control them more, but it left a scar within her that she's been struggling with ever since. On the return to her village, her family were found dead, and from that point on, she's basically trying to understand her nightmares and understand how to basically extract what's within her. Currently, the only thing that they know is that death is the only thing that will release the essence, which is how Byron's essence came to inhabit the crystal that was in the crystal that Thomas had. Obviously, the party and Galandra don't want to see her die because they want to try and find a way to sort of get rid of it.
Ideally.
Okay.
The essence. So you basically got something, an essence within Galandra. You got this crystal that Thomas has with some dark essence in it, and obviously you've got the essence that's within you, which is light essence.
So, like, Valashor looks to Lance and asks, "What is the purpose of transporting this dark essence? Why can't we just destroy it?"
We are trying to find a way that doesn't involve killing Galandra to free her of that which is inside her. And so our hope is that by keeping this contained, it will give us something that we can test our theories on and find a way to destroy it without destroying her.
Valashor nods his head. Seems like a worthy goal.
We try to only kill the people that try to kill us.
Okay. As you're talking to each other, the rest of the party sort of walk out. It's quite a beautiful day. It's a stark contrast to the sort of darkness that you felt inside as you come out. The sun is sort of nearly at its zenith, it's for all intents and purposes, it's a very beautiful day. Anybody going to talk? You've got lots of things you need to discuss still.
What we need to discuss.
Well, what's your mission? Okay, so you basically you're not just here to go to the temple. You were here on you were here on a mission.
I was.
So guys, we were going to Suncrest.
I'm wondering, should we request? Could the monks maybe send a correspondence to Lady Athea Taunt, or should we leave it to deliver that news in person?
I think that news is probably
want
best
to know
delivered in
immediately.
person.
Say that again, Galandra.
No.
Your audio's kicking out.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
I think it's probably best for
Yeah.
that news to be delivered in person.
When will we next see Althea Taunt? She might be upset if we have not told her immediately.
I would feel worse receiving a letter detailing that event than in person, but I suppose we may see her once we have fulfilled the quest that we were on before this tragedy befell us.
Believe that it would probably be more appropriate to tell her in person, but what would I know? I'm made of wood and metal and ceramic.
Okay.
Before we leave, just we get some robes that can fit the more members of our group.
I want you to bear in mind, Val has no idea what your quest is, what you're doing, where you're going, anything like that. You got to understand he's completely new to this, so you have to explain. If you want them to come with you, you're going to have to explain to you what the score is, why you're going, what's going on, why you need robes, and a confirmation on if you're sending a letter or not.
So, Val, we've talked to you about how we got here. We should probably tell you about where we were supposed to be going after this. If you're going to be coming along, if nothing else, you'll look an awful lot less confused. We were commissioned by a local noblewoman to look into a certain amount of insurrection that's happening around here. They've had supplies going missing. There are armed bandits which seem to be tied back to our former nemesis Byrand, and so our thought was to look into the disappearance of goods from the caravans and stores that travel through the village down the road, and see if we can identify the cause and trace it back to whoever is causing the problems, and possibly disrupt their troublemaking. Obviously, we thought that a good idea was to be moderately discreet, which will be a new experience for some of us. But in the main, the concept is rather than have the army come storming through and burn and break, dispossess people, and generally be a blunt object, was to try and disrupt the problems and cause the minimum of collateral damage to people that often know better than to get on with their lives and hope that they don't get caught in the middle of things. There were some spirited discussions with certain people, but the agreement was made that we could look into it. So we thought that we had thought this was a good place to stop off on our journeys, not realizing how significant it would be. So, are you still happy to come with us?
I already agreed to accompany the friends of Solden, so wherever you go from now on, I will go.
Very well.
Okay. Letter. Are you sending a letter? Are you not sending a letter?
No, I don't think we should.
No.
No. Okay. All right. So, what's your plan? Getting to the village.
Before we leave the village, before we leave the temple, Draken is going to approach some of the monks that are not down in the crypt and ask if we can borrow some robes.
Get it right this second time round.
Third.
Do you want some robes for Stealth Meal Brenner, by the way? For your donkey?
So we're gonna look like the flipping Ku Klux Klan walking into.
I'm gonna be one of the tallest monks.
I want a horse blanket for Meal Brenner.
Horse blanket. Okay.
can we also ask the monks what their knowledge is of the town, as to basically we explained to them that we are on a mission that requires subtlety, and we would like to keep ourselves sort of at low key. Is there any information they can give us about the town that would actually aid us in doing that, as to sort of back roads or
whereabouts of certain, like large.
yeah? Can they give us any sort of would they have any sort of maps or anything of the actual town itself that would give us a good idea of the layout, and even any sort of unknown tunnels or anything that may be in and around?
No, they don't have anything like that.
Dicks. I mean,
No, tunnels, crab islands, anything of that sort.
Yeah, well, you won't know anything. By the way, when we get into this town, if I feel that you are metagaming from the last time we did this, I'm going to force you into positions that you probably didn't want to do. So I want reasons why you're doing things, and I want good reasons, not let's just go down here because we didn't do that last time.
Down here because that's what we did last time.
You're gonna have to remind me every 5 minutes, because I'm my emotions on my face. I know what I'm like. Oh, I want to go that way because I want to go that way.
Like I said, you can do what you want, but it has to be a good reason for it, because especially now, because you've technically been in this town before, so it's just
twice.
Yeah, so you need to sort of.
I'll give you good reasons. You want reasons? I'll give you reasons.
All right, okay. This is another thing, by the way, Wes. If I have something that you disagree with, you're more than welcome to disagree with me. If you give me a good reason, it's fine. I'm happy to defer. If there's a rule that I've got wrong, by all means, let me know. We're all pretty much new, so things will go wrong. So just an FYI, don't feel like you can't disagree with the DM, because most of them do on a regular basis. So. Okay, so you're asking for robes. They don't have any maps of the area. They keep themselves to themselves, so they're not really, bar. One of the monks says, there's the main bridge into town. That's the other than coming up on the river. That's the only way into the town.
Okay.
Commentating.
Should we
Got home.
maybe discuss as to what our plan is on entering this town? Do we enter as a group under the sort of guise of a group of monks traveling from the temple, and if so, where are we going?
I just want you to bear in mind as well, Valashul is like 6'8" or something like that.
Six.
Yeah, so you've got a dragonborn, you've got a celestial, which,
and he's not taking his armor off.
Yeah, so he's going to be fully armored. Obviously a warforged and stuff like that. So you just need to make it good. So
what we could have is me and Galandra can get on my shoulders, and we can all be like really, really extremely tall monks.
Can I make
like a traveling freak show?
Tall anyway. I'm sure I'm like 7 foot.
So
am I like the smallest one here?
You're not 7. You're not 7 foot. You're not going to be 7 foot.
7 foot elf? That's massive.
You're not going to be a 7 foot tree elf. It's not going to be.
I
bang your head. You'd be walking. You'd be like the lanky one who's banging her head off stuff shit all the time.
Well, she probably does that anyway with the amount she drinks.
Burn.
Gentlemen, ladies, if I may have your attention.
I'm just going to stomp on you.
So, as a group, we're going to draw a lot of attention. We are still the same number as we would have been elsewhere, which may draw people's attention. So 2 of us, in theory, can be moderately stealthy. I can obviously
if the
wrap
dice are
myself
nice.
up in my cloak and try to disguise my origin. Val is an unknown quantity to our enemies, and he has been in this area for a little bit and travelling, so he has the advantage of not being someone they're looking out for. So may I suggest that monks and a paladin may not be unusual. If we can find something big enough for Draken to disguise his nature with a hood and a cloak or whatever, then he could be part of that, and we could simply be a group of a couple of travelers, and and traveling monks, and a couple of loose travelers nearby, so that we're not quite so obviously ourselves. And
Can we
once we get into town,
get
if we can
some?
quite discreetly have a look around and maybe strike up conversation, we may be able to learn a little of what's going on and try and find anything odd that's going on, and reevaluate maybe after an hour or two in town and decide how we want to proceed from there.
Oh, can we possibly go to the library to see if the library has any maps or any information on the town itself?
Yeah, I guess you could, if you want to.
Can somebody come with me because my investigation is crap?
If you feel like turning into a sheep, I can come with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. One of the Tharaval and Thomas went to the festival, and Tharaval. Thomas mistakenly told Tharaval that the potions that the vendor had were fake. Tharaval took umbrage to this and threatened the vendor, who proceeded to turn him into a sheep.
It was
Oh,
a
dear.
bad time.
We've made that one a few times.
Okay, so if you want to go in the library, then.
I'm quite happy to show him the way, seeing as I've.
Okay, so if you give me Tharaval, you give me a roll, and I'll give you advantage with Dave's help.
Oh, damn it! I was kind of hoping it would be Dave rolling and still getting advantage.
Well, it's you. It's your idea, so he's the advantage because he's helping you. So.
Oh well, it's a -1.
Yo, get in. There you go.
20.
Yeah.
Oh, with
Crit.
advantage. Yeah.
With a crit. Yep. Okay. Looking through the different books and things that are there, you do find some sort of old maps of the area. There is, and I'm going to have a quick shifty. You basically have one that sort of points out some of the sort of key areas, like the blacksmith, the port, sort of like bookstores, stuff that you knew from, basically what you've known from last time. There's some stuff that shows you where the jailhouse is in the sort of north of the. Which like the effective, the city watch, effectively, the town watch, even in the north. There's also a lodge in the sort of northwest of the map. Within that, there is sort of scribblings within the map of a tunnel network that is in the town. That leads from the port to the Hunter's Lodge, and from the port to the jail. And there's a few sort of tunnel. There's a few other places. The writing and stuff you don't overly get, but there's basically a tunnel network. There's sort of mentioned that before the. During the war with Kyrelia, tunnels were a way to sort of get places. They were effectively like bunkers. They sort of built these tunnels just in case Balon was completely invaded and they needed to escape. So a lot of these towns, including Falcross, have sort of tunnel networks underneath them.
Okay. Tharaval turns to Thomas and said that this has been very helpful. I think we can use this map it gives us options as to how we want to approach um, the possibility that these tunnels could still be being used by whoever is siphoning off um, these goods and that are being moved. It would seem quite quite a good assumption. If not, it also gives us the option for the more statuesque members of our group.
Okay. So you go back out. So what he's doing? How are you going to go about this? Who's going in first? How you sort of staggering
So
yourself?
basically, I'm going to lay out the map in front of everybody and point out where the tunnels are, and again the key the key points of the map. The different buildings, and make the suggestions that I've sort of described to Thomas there, that these tunnels could be potentially still being used. Again, if somebody was trying to move things about the town um, without sort of being seen, um, that's what I would do, and that's how I would do it. If the tunnels aren't being used, then we could possibly put them to our use to move about the town undetected, provided they're not, there's nobody in them.
How do we access those tunnels?
Well, the port seems like the sort of center point between um, the lodge house in the northwest and the jailhouse, I believe.
Bear with me a moment. I'm just sort of drawing out some tunnels and stuff. So I'll show you kind of vaguely what it looks like once I've done it. But carry on talking. Sorry, as you are.
Again, this is just my interpretation from a strategic way of entering, rather than just us marching in. We can't, we've the option of splitting the group, some staying above ground, some staying below, and meeting at a certain point, and reporting back any findings.
Might I suggest?
Do we actually know where the access to the tunnels are?
GM, I'm guessing if the tunnels,
You'll see lines in the thing. There's no sort of mention of the exact sort of. You see lines that sort of cross 3 buildings and go to specific areas. So you make the assumption that within some of these buildings or areas there will be entry points.
So if we identified the nearest likely entry point to where we want to go into town, we could travel in 2 or 3 smaller groups and liaise there. And if we can gain entry to the tunnels, then first we need to find out if they're being used, so that we don't blunder into something that we can't fight our way out of, or that we don't want to fight our way out of.
Again.
And if that works, then we can use the tunnels to our advantage, or at the very least, we'll know how to access them if we need to compromise the movement of supplies. But knowledge first, and then the stuff that Draken likes.
Let me just check something. Not me. This will go off in direction. Right. Okay. Yep. Carry on.
Possibly, if assuming that we can be successfully quite inconspicuous, myself and Tharavel could lead off. Possibly the monks and could accompany the paladin into town as if they're coming into town looking for supplies, and that would give them that would be a reason for them to come in and use and have Mulebrunner with them in order to carry produce back, and we could liaise at a building, the nearest building or a likely building for access to the tunnels, in order to investigate.
which either would be the jailhouse, depending on where the entrances and exits are for the tunnels. It would either be the jailhouse or this lodge.
Let me just show
Um,
you what I've got here.
I
Sorry.
would also suggest that if we are to go, if we are to split and we are to go through take the bridge in, it might be worth the other half of the group going via the river to try and avoid any contact with the townsfolk, if possible.
I'm happy to walk across under the river, but I'll be a bit squishy on the other end, and that might be conspicuous.
No, but I mean the other, like, if we're in disguise and we're walking across the bridge, that's one thing. But for the likes of the dragon and the 7-foot paladin, or no, the paladin's with us, isn't he? Right, okay.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the paladin is not someone they know. They know of a paladin, but Soldin looked a little bit different.
He was
to Val.
infamous.
Well, there is that too as well. So my point was
basically we don't want to be remembered as the saviors of Falcross Bridge, or
no, exactly. But if myself and you travel in separately ahead and do our best to look inconspicuous, and then if Val is traveling with monks and we can find a big enough robe to disguise the more obvious features of Draken's heritage, him and Milbrina plus them could be coming into town for supplies separately to ourselves. That already breaks down the numbers a little bit and makes them less conspicuous. If we then arrange where we want to meet to try and access the tunnels, so there is a crossing point if we travel further into town along the main road just to the left there, we could try to gain access to the building after we rendezvous and see if we can locate an access to the tunnels so that we can try and find out if they are in use at the moment. If they're not in use at the moment actively and they're not in disrepair, that would offer us an opportunity then to inconspicuously try and move around town to evaluate if what we suspect is happening within town or near town, and if we can identify any activity to investigate further.
Yeah, I agree with that. The hunting lodge seems to be a bit of a focal point, so that could potentially be the area that we meet at if we do split up. Going from the map as the closest, what looks like the closest starting points to the tunnels does seem to be at the port near the Merchants Guild, and maybe to the east and the west of the port.
What is our at Suncrest again? Are we to stop it or merely to observe?
I believe that we want to observe as much as we can to gather information before making any actions.
Yeah, disrupt
But
if
not
possible,
direct
but nothing
intervention.
overt.
You disrupt, but again, not. Again, if we make ourselves known, for all we know, the bandits or whoever is dealing with this could just sort of disappear underground, and we could lose them.
Is if we're too loud, we'll lose them because they only need to back off for a little while until we have to go elsewhere, or we just get bored. So the trick will be to wait until we can catch them in the act, so to speak, and identify them before we squash them, or preferably trace them back up the line and take out someone significant to cripple their operations. And if from them we can also learn something about the greater effort, that will then give us our next visit.
There's going to be
Sunny.
other like bits and pieces, like there'll be other things on there, but these are the main places. So there will be shops and taverns and other bits and pieces, but these are sort of the main.
But I think basically, if it comes us going into the town, because we've got this map, and also that Tharavol's got one of the abilities where he can remember geographical locations and their layout and everything like that. We shouldn't really need to ask people as to where things are. We should be able to just go, right, well, this is where it is, and go to it. Does that make sense?
And Thomas has his keen mind feat, which basically lets him remember things with uncanny detail.
Oh, I shouldn't have let you guys have these things. Let's start off with this.
Remember, if you ever know where north is, just ask Thomas.
Yes.
And
This
how
seems-
long it is till sunset?
That's true.
Because who doesn't need to know that?
Surely you can just tell by the sun.
Quiet you.
If we're in tunnels,
maybe not the amount of time, but just like whenever the sun disappears, sunset.
But then if we're going to be crawling around in tunnels, that would be a little bit harder to tell.
True.
No, but I'd still.
Well,
know.
but he would still know.
Yes.
Just so you know as well, actually, within the hunting lodge, the one that you can probably see here, because it'll bring in the tunnels seem to go off in the direction of what's the name of it? What did I name it? The ruins of is it Silkside? Is it Silkside?
The ruins of
Yeah, it was Silkside, I think.
Yeah, Silkside. So it's kind of going off in that direction, towards where Silkside is.
Interesting.
Okay, well, and we obviously know that from looking at the map.
Yeah, so you can see it. You can see. Well, you can see it's going in that direction.
So again, we can point out that if we point out the hunting lodge as a focal point, and that there is a tunnel going off in that direction, the assumption that these tunnels are being used to transfer the goods to the ruins makes a lot more sense.
Just that tunnel
so
being
that,
used.
yeah,
that's the question. Are the others in use, or would they maybe just be using that tunnel?
Yeah, the map you have is old, so these are the kind of the ones that you are. So the old tunnels that are there from, from the days of the Civil War. Obviously, there's also a tunnel that goes north towards Tunt as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what is our final plan? We have to agree on this as a group and make sure that we're executed.
Because we should have some crowds to hide in, and there'll be activity going on. So I would suggest that we rendezvous down by the docks and the guild, and we try and gain entry to one of the two ends of the tunnels.
Yep, I'm happy with that. Are we staying as one group?
I think, as I said, if we break up slightly, if myself and you scout ahead, and we wait for them, and if the others travel as a group of monks and the paladin, as if they're coming into town to buy supplies, the paladin's probably going to be known to them if he's escorted refugees in, but he's not known to be anything to do with us.
Yeah,
so that might help to throw them off.
Val, do you have any views on this?
You said earlier that the bandits were seizing supplies. Who exactly are they seizing supplies from?
The government.
The government, okay.
They're
So,
everyone's invited. Some of them get to lay down an awful lot.
It's a party. Everybody gets invited. So,
would it not be easier to make ourselves a target of these bandits and seek them out that way?
The problem with that is that there are there seems to
That's
be
called in now.
different branches in multiple towns.
Yeah, we're
Whereas if
trying to keep a low profile as much as we can.
Yeah, basically,
so if
within
the reason that we decided with the captains and the Lady Taunt to do a stealth mission was to the other option was to be a full frontal attack on what is known, but if we attack one place, then it's basically the other towns can just scuttle under.
I don't think we've zoned out there for a minute. Just bear with me while it does its thing. Come on, OBS. I'm back. I'm back. Sorry. Sorry. I'm before you're gonna have to say what you just said there. I think you were talking about having to deal with things at once.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, there's 3 areas, or multiple areas that we believe this activity is occurring on. So the Lady Taunt and the captains don't have enough resources and manpower to split and make multiple attacks at the same time. The other option was for them to do to pick a town and make an attack there, but that leaves the other towns open, where the bandits or whoever's actually doing this, basically they can scuttle in back underground, and then move and pop up at a later point. So from our strategic point of view, we want to investigate and find the head of the snake and cut it off at the source.
So basically, you've got sort of what they've told is they've got the wrong thing here. You've got potential. So you've basically got Falcross, which is here, which is the main sort of town that they started off in. It's like a supply hub that sort of deals with the supplies that go to the main cities of Agover, Subern, and Taunt. They've noticed recently that these supplies are coming in drips and drabs, or not at all sometimes. They believe that these are getting siphoned off in Sandhold, in Suncrest, and it's believed that positions like there was basically a fortified trading point called a Camber Ford there. These ruins, Silkside, and these ruins in the south of Kiberath are being used as sort of staging points, and the generals and the captains at the Council of War, effectively, had basically said that they just wanted to attack Kiberath and Silkside, and just get it over and done with. But obviously, calmer minds prevailed, and they said they were kind of wanting to understand what was going on before they kind of went into these places.
It's the trying to nail Jello to a wall theory. It's a really impressive bang, but you don't actually do any. You don't actually have much Jello there at the end. It just all runs away. And in a more compassionate approach, the hammer tends to squash the people that are standing around, not actually involved either. So all you do is you build up bad will, and you drive people towards the insurrection. So by sending 6 or 7 people in to look and to identify and possibly take out important people, you can cripple the insurrection, and you can identify what's going on so that the army itself can be more accurately used where it will do the most good.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got limited forces basically, because most of them are in. Well, probably one of the reasons you're here is that you know that a lot of the sort of Balinese forces are currently with the Alliance and sort of holding the line in the southeast against the corruption. So they have minimal forces left within Balon to sort of deal with the internal strifes because they were of the view that most of this needed to be dealt with in the sort of southeast. So, they've got maybe a regiment of guards, maybe sort of some local militias and stuff to deal with this. Okay. Any other questions, views, opinions on how you should enter? Was that a yes? No? What?
No, it was a no.
Sorry, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So how are you getting in there? How are you go back to the map. So how are you? What is your disposition?
So if Tharavel and myself set out slightly staggered ahead and travel in via the bridge and make ourselves discreet in the area of the docks, the others can follow, say an hour behind, traveling a bit slower because they'll have Mjolnir with them, and looking as if they're there for supplies, and they can make their way into town and come down to the docks if they're looking to buy fish or some other supplies to take back to the temple, and we can liaise and evaluate which of the buildings that are likely to be the best, easiest to access, so we can try and find a way into the tunnels.
Let's just do some little things. So it's you, Tharavel, Lance. Who else is going with you two?
Just us two, I think.
Just you two. And then they're coming in behind. Okay, so you guys are sort of, at the other side of the bridge. There is a bit of traffic and stuff, but nobody's obviously paying much attention to you because you've got sort of your robes. So do you want to give me stealth checks?
God, this is where my rolls from earlier on start going bad.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Oh, very nice.
You are both very much in stealth. All right. Okay. So
I must have myself properly.
So you both sort of actually explain to me. You're just going to walk into the bridge, or down the bridge. What else are you doing?
So we'll move separately. So if I let Tharavel go first, I'll wait a beat or two. So they've been obviously travelling together, and then we'll take a left across down to the docks.
Okay.
Yep.
As appropriate.
So you're sort of. I'll put you at the end of the bridge. Just. Oh, it's not because of these bloody squares. It's not letting me sort of.
Flaw.
Okay. What about the rest of yous? How are you coming about in?
I suppose we're just walking across the bridge.
And you're in monk's clothes. So Draken, Galandra.
I'll be walking. Yeah.
Galandra, Draken, are walking. And Thomas, all three of you, you're in monk's clothes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to give me stealth checks then, and I'll give you advantage because of the clothes. Val doesn't need to because he's just being who he is and stuff. Okay. Yeah. Draken.
Oh, nice.
Is very yep. That's not.
Does that count for Mulebrenner as well?
Mulebrenner, he's just a mule and stuff. I don't think Mulebrenner isn't renowned yet, so it's all right. Oh, Galandra is not looking to stealth.
I'll just be drunk and staggering about as
Just running around shouting, "We're not real monks."
Okay, it just means you're not going to be. It doesn't mean you're not, noticeable. It just means the others are less noticeable. You're just going to be a bit more sort of
along with my paladin friend as per
noticeable. Okay, so let me just do so. Tharavel and Lance. Let me just do a few rolls here. Okay, you guys make it down to the. You make it down towards the Merchants Guild. Is that where he's going?
Yeah.
So these are making it down towards there, basically unmolested by anybody who's sort of there. You just sort of kind of walked in and walked past, and nobody sort of batted an eyelid. The rest of you sort of kind of walk into town. You know, there being a paladin in front of you. I'm just trying to think. You are. Do your wings show all the time?
No.
Right. Okay.
No.
Thankfully.
I'd just fly there if that was the case.
Why did we not know this?
He's got like, yeah, you can have wings. Okay, so you guys are all right. Let me just, so there's the 3 of you, there's 4 of yous. Nice. Okay, let me just see here. That's that. That beats that. Okay. You sort of walk into town, and are you heading off towards the Merchants Guild as well, or is everybody going in the same direction?
Well, we're not. Where are we in terms of timey-wimey crap? We're following in.
You're slightly behind them. Yeah.
They'll have already got to the docks by the time.
Well, by the time you sort of get over to the bridge, they'll probably be at the docks. So you get there, and it's quite busy in the town. Lots of people walking around. People aren't sort of overly sort of bothered. There's a little boy who seems sort of really taken by the armored knight who's sort of who's approaching, and he sort of kind of runs up, and he sort of looks at Val. He says like, are you? It's like, are you a knight? Are you a knight?
Valashul kneels down to his height. You could call me that, but far from it at the same time.
He's like, wow, I want to be a knight. I want to be I could be an amazing knight. He's like, yeah. He's sort of kind of switching around with this sort of like this little stick that he's got in his hand. And he's like, wait till I tell my friend Casper. He'll not believe I've met a knight. And he sort of kind of...
Danny's face.
What?
Danny's face whenever you said Casper was like... Who's Casper? We don't know.
He's just like, oh, I never know. And he's just like, oh wow. And he's about to sort of shout over to some people about the knight. You can try and stop him if you want.
No, Valashul doesn't stop him. He stands back up.
Oh, Galandra elbows Valashul and gives the eyes as if, we are being stealthy. Eyes.
Yeah. It's up to you. If you want to carry on letting him sort of shout out and stuff, that's fine. She can try and persuade you, though. She can roll.
Alright, so having been reminded that they're there to be sneaky breaky, he kneels back down and grabs the kid by the hand, and he's like, okay, quiet down a little bit. No, don't say that.
All right, kid.
You little fucker.
It's like, if you want to be a knight, you have to strive to do good. Take this as a reminder to always strive for that goal. And he takes the shell out of its pouch and gives it to him in the hopes that he'll quieten down.
Oh, interesting. You give him the shell, right? Okay. Okay, so you give the little boy the shell, and he's just like, his little face sort of is absolutely amazed that he's seen a knight, but not only is he's gifted, he's been gifted something, and he's just like, what? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Oh my God, Casper's going to be so jealous. And he sort of runs off. He doesn't say anything, but he sort of kind of runs up north.
All right. Then Valashor gets back up and continues about his journey, I suppose.
Okay. So you're making your way towards the port then, yeah? Or the merchant's guild, is that what you're used to doing?
Is there a market in the town?
Yeah, well, the main street is effectively a market street. You've got a blacksmith, you've got a bookstore, you've got numerous taverns. There's potion shops. Most things that you would probably need are there.
Okay.
So come on, guys, directions. There's lots of silence. Come on, do the thing. You're meant to be driving this, not me.
I can't do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think me and Lance have sort of said our bit until.
Right. What were you deciding to do? What was the plan?
Where were we rendezvousing, so to speak?
The dock.
The
The
lodge.
docks.
The
The
lodge.
lodge.
Yeah,
Oh,
to start off.
Mm.
Okay.
We're looking for the start of the tunnels at the minute.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So-
the docks is where we're going.
So everybody's going towards the docks.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, having a scan around, making sure I know where all the shops are when we're going down. Make a mental note of the town's shop whereabouts.
Let me just check. Everybody's there. Okay. So I'll move you on. It's going to be Black. You locked me in that cellar. Let me
Well,
pin.
like,
Okay. So, you guys aren't going to be able to do anything yet because you are currently in disguise. But,
it's a new and exciting map.
a new and exciting map that will maybe look very familiar to some people.
It's a new and exciting black square at the moment.
Yeah.
It would be so weird if there was an island with crabs on it.
Well, there was in the map you saw. There is a thing that says it does say Crab Island. So you are aware of an island called Crab Island. Oh, wrong thing. We need to reveal areas. That's what we want.
Calandra turns to Draken and expresses her disinterest in going swimming today.
Well, yes. Again, certain things you won't be aware of. Just
That's fine. I'm just making a fleeting comment. They're going towards the docks. I don't want to go swimming.
Okay, so Lance and Tharaval, you, I will give you what I need you to all do. Actually, I'll do it for you. Where are we? Select.
Possibly we roll an initiative on already.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna.
Who's got here? Crab
What?
battle.
What the frick? What the frick? It's not letting me. Oh, I know why. I'm on the wrong thing.
Restart the sandbox.
Okay, so group initiative. So I've rolled your initiatives for you.
1.
I was going to complain at mine, and that's all vowels.
Makes a change that I'm not last.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys, it's going to be Lance and Tharaval for 3 turns first, and then you guys will appear. So, first up is Tharaval. Where are you going? What are you doing?
Okay, I'm going to move across the top of the map to the east, and sort of have a peer in any windows at that building I'm just beside at the minute.
The east, the west, or the east? Sorry, yeah. Sorry, my bad.
East.
Yeah, sorry.
To the right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Okay. It's basically it's like a store, and it's got a guy sort of sitting behind the desk, sort of general purpose store. Got some interesting wares and stuff inside it.
that a rifle? Sorry, meta.
It is. It's got a musket.
He's got the
Um,
guy. The guy does have something that actually roll me a history.
Why are all bad rolls? History.
You recognize it as one of those noisy boomsticks you saw on the bridge.
This is my boomstick.
You saw them being used at the Battle of Falcross Bridge.
It's a smoke wand.
Yeah, smoke wand.
Okay. Right. Do I want to move around? I'm trying to figure out. Can I cast perception as to do I see anything else sort of within the building?
Shush dog. You can roll your perception if you want. Yep.
This was where it goes wrong. I've had too many decent rolls.
Jinx yourself.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Right. You look in the window. This is you were looking in the window, wasn't you? Were looking in the shop, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. You look in the shop and you are. Oh, let me see. What's this critical fail going to be? Let's see. And you're pretty sure that the guy behind the counter is shifty looking. You're just like you've seen his kind before, and even with that weird thing he's got in his hand, that's obviously dark magic.
I was going to say I love Michael's face, but it's just because he'd frozen.
He's gone up.
He's run away to look sheepish.
Well, he goes, Lance, you carry on while he sort of reconnects.
No problem. So,
Oh, he's not. Yeah. What are you doing?
so it's
I
5 foot
disappeared.
square,
I don't know, disconnected all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Repeat what happened there. I just basically there's a guy who I think is shifty in the building.
Yeah, you basically you look in the building. You're like, that guy. There's something up with him. He is definitely shifty. This, he's up to no good. And that the fact that he's got that witch weapon, proves it.
Okay.
So each square is 5 foot, yeah, for movement purposes.
Yes.
I'm going to move twice, which will get me across to here, so I can look in that building.
Okay. It's not sure. Reveal areas. That's what we want. There we go.
Look in that building.
It is. It's just somebody's house. It doesn't seem to be anything of any major. It's just a fisherman's house.
Anything suspicious at all? Perception, maybe?
You can roll me perception if you want. Yeah.
Do it.
You don't really see anything of note in there.
Okay, so that's me done.
Okay, Tharaval, your go.
Noting that the guy looks shifty, I still don't want to draw attention to myself, and therefore I'm going to move around the side of the building. Oh. So move to the again. See what I can see from there.
Okay. You see, basically you can probably see most of down there. You can see the island. You can see sort of some Oh, actually, 1 minute. Yeah, you can see the island. To the right, you can see why it's called Crab Island. There's obviously
Sharks on it.
there's a lot of crabs on it. And yeah. Okay, Lance, you're up.
I'm going to move across to here to have a look inside this building.
It's another house.
Can I move a second time?
You can do, yep.
Move down to here.
What's the... that is a door, so you can't see anything in there. Actually, that other one was technically a door as well. That other one was actually technically. I'll say you moved there, so you can see in that window like that, which means you would probably. But yeah, you can't see anything through there because it's a door. There's no window.
I've still got a little bit of movement left, haven't I?
Yep.
So I'm going to move back up here and around the corner. Give me a little bit more coverage.
Okay.
My computer is doing. It's just being a pain in the ass.
I forgot. I need to roll some dice for. 1, 2.
Is this where everyone decides I look shifty and suspicious and starts beating me up?
No, nobody's sort of noticed. You're still sort of in stealth and stuff. There's nothing of any consequence. Okay, Tharvil, last go before the rest sort of daunder in.
Okay, I'm going to. Fuck's sake! I don't know what is going on with my computer at the minute, but it's really messing about. There's the 35, so I'm going to move twice. Ah! Pain in the ass. It's. Don't know what's going on with this thing. Right, you may have to move me. Basically, I want to get as close down to the sort of center building, yeah, further down than that, so a double movement down that direction as I can. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So Lance, your last go before the rest come in.
Is there anything else that sort of I can see there from?
No, you can see sort of like there's a building across. There's a building. On.
What about to my left? I'm guessing that area clears out if I can.
Oh
see
yeah,
that.
yeah. If only dynamic light was working properly, but it's not.
I don't know what's going on with mine at the minute. I don't know where it's my computer, but my connection seems fine. It's just really fucking about at the minute.
Yeah. Oh, you probably see down there as well. Sure. Okay. Lance.
Lance?
Yeah, I thought I'd lost audio again then.
Yeah, so did I.
Are you moving out for ice? For right, okay. There's a window there actually that you would see when you're passing it. So if you want to have a look in there, it seems to be like another it's like a general store.
Okay. That's the end of the quiet period then. Time for the noisy children to come.
Yep. So the rest of you come in. Draken, you're next.
Hey, Draken walks along the shore.
By the way, where's Mulebrenner? What's happening with Mulebrenner?
Mulebrenner is there any kind of like time posts for animals to be tied to?
Yeah, there'll be something you can tie him to near one of the.
Okay, then Draken will take You'll run over to post time there. And is there any children on there?
Any children?
Yes.
Oh, no children that you can see. No.
No, I just want to basically give someone a silver coin saying, keep an eye on my mule, please. It is for the order, and say, keep an eye, give them a silver.
Okay. I think Dave is needing to wrap up soon, so we'll have to give you a couple of goes and then we'll leave it.
Okay.
Okay. So. All right. So you tie him to a post and you ask one of the local sort of people to sort of look after him.
Yeah, and this later, it's a silver now, and when I come back, I think I'll have another silver.
Okay. And the guy nods.
I assume that's the going rate. Sorry.
Yeah, he's just sort of like he's sort of kind of looking at you strangely, but you're offering him money, so he's.
Well, I assume that's the going rate for looking after a mule.
Yeah, it's more the fact that you're a dragonborn in a monk's cloak and stuff, and you're talking to him. But
I'm not a dragonborn. I'm just a very tall monk.
Okay.
With a bit of a rash.
Yeah, with a bit of a rash.
Yeah, we don't talk about it.
In fact, I forgot. Let me roll.
Do we do step?
Yep, he's fine. He's happy with that.
20?
No, it's alright. I've done it for it. He's happy enough to do that.
Quick question.
Yeah.
We left Gregor again.
You did leave Gregor again? You said you wouldn't leave him. You said you let him know.
I even thought about that before we left, and I was like, we'll have to say about Gregor, and then somebody else talked, and I forgot about it.
What you said to Gregor was that, come to us when you're ready. He wasn't ready.
No, he said we'd wait.
We also said we'd wait for you.
Oh well.
Yeah, come to us ready. See ya.
Oh well. Yeah, I forgot about him as well. I guess
we've got to go back to give the rose back. We can pick him up then.
Yeah. So
Get the rose back?
If he's still there.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay. That's something to tie into the story later, I guess. Okay. So Draken, what are you up to then? You've tied him to a post. You tied Wheelbrenner to a post.
Okay. Remembering the map, Draken's gonna start making his way towards.
He won't remember anything because he doesn't know this place.
No. The map.
Oh yes, the map. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And yes, he's basically going to make his way and just.
Are you moving?
Push to talk, Pete.
Trying to.
Yeah.
It's not.
Where do you want to move to, and I'll move you. Down here?
Basically, start move his natural walking speed towards the map, the building that has the tunnels coming from.
Okay, yeah, so you start moving down. Do you want to move twice or just once?
No, because moving twice is sprinting.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is somewhat conspicuous. So no, Draken's just going to be walking calmly, minding his own business, to mind that there's a 7-foot tall monk.
Okay, yep. Who's next? Thomas, you're up.
Basically the same thing, moving down to here.
Okay.
Just keeping an eye out.
Galandra, you're next.
I'm just gonna follow the same plan as everybody else, and just follow down and gesture to Val to come with.
Oh shit!
Brilliant! What the hell was that?
That was somebody recognizing you.
Oh dear.
Recognizing us from where? We've not been here before.
Well, basically, your stealth roll was so low that
I'm just stealth walking around on the docks. Recognize me from what?
Recognizing me from what? Hey, you got really Liverpool there, didn't you?
Oh dear.
You brave him on the nine, Matt.
I'm arresting you for murder.
You're gonna piss off a lot of people doing that.
E is for Everton.
Brave man.
Oh,
Start mentioning footballers for the love of God.
Okay. Right. So In fact, I'll leave it to you because there's nobody really in that vicinity. Okay, I'll let you away with it.
Ouch.
Okay. Val, you're up.
Yeah, Valashore just follows the rest of them. So I guess down there.
Okay. Cool. Right, back up to Tharaval.
Sorry, my map is still fucking about. I can't really move about. Well, I can, but it's being extremely slow.
Where do you want to go?
I want to go down to the sort of end of the docks, sort of to look out over across the island.
So over here by the fisherman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that I can actually see much, but I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going at the minute.
Yeah, you do notice people over there. You don't obviously recognize. You just see people there. You don't know who they are.
Can I roll perception again? You probably will have to do it for me.
What are you trying to perceive?
As to what they're doing.
Okay. Perception. Wow. The dice hit
Did I
you.
fail again?
Yeah, you got 7. You don't.
This is the real. Oh no. Yeah.
It's not an epic
No,
fail,
actually, it's actually no. My perception's not the best. It's not bad, but it's
you got
actually
a
one of
+4.
the better ones.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
at
So
least it's not my dexterity.
you're not really picking up from more. You're more sort of you're more worried about the guy in the shop, to be honest, than you are the guys across the way. Okay, Lance.
Okay, so
Oh, you're going over
Personally.
there. Let me reveal the.
is that a window I can see?
Yeah, that is a window. Yeah.
So I will just gently skulk over in this direction.
It's a room, and you can't see anybody in there. Well, currently from what your vantage, you can't see anybody.
Okay. So I'll use my last bit of movement just to move up into that alley there.
All right, Draken.
Okay, Draken's going to keep walking down, keep his head down. Just, yes, 7-foot tall mole. Haven't you seen one before? And just, yeah, keep like casual.
Okay. Thomas.
Okay, bear with me. Roll 20's crashed again.
Okay, I'll move you. Are you just moving down beside him?
I'm moving to in the general direction of Tharaval as much as I can.
Okay. You doing double move?
No, just a single.
Okay.
Oh, it goes back. Yep, that's where I'm going.
Okay. Galandra.
I'm gonna head towards. I don't know how the feet is, but well, yeah. So down towards that way.
Okay.
Valashul decides to head with oh. That was a roll.
It's fine. It's nothing. It's all right.
Okay. No worries. Yeah, he heads with Thomas. Oh, if I could select, that would be helpful.
Okay. All right. That's no probs. Okay. Let me just see. Okay.
It's riveting initiative.
I know, but because you haven't been noticed and stuff, things are being slightly easier for you than it was last time when you basically walked into the town and let everybody know who you were.
It was ridiculous.
We're just not used to this pace, you see. We're used
That was
to
absolutely the opposite of what we wanted to do.
Okay, we'll do one more round and then we'll stop it so Dave doesn't get a battering round the head. So, Tharavel, what are you up to? Is he gone?
I lost him again. Either that or he sat very, very still.
Pleasure.
Can't hear you, Michael. You're going really super slow. Lance, we'll go to you while he sorts his shizzle out.
Is everyone dropping out? What's going on?
No,
And
everybody's here.
wave. I'll take one move up here so I can have a look down there, and then I'll wave to Draken to get his attention.
Okay. Let me just do that. Okie dokie. There's basically a guy, sort of in a hammock, and he's he's just lazing there, and he sort of kind of watches as you sort of pass him, and you're waving down the way at this sort of this huge monk who's walking sort of down the alleyway, and he looks at you and he's just like, "You look like no fucking monk I've ever seen."
I guess I better black, hadn't I?
So it's like
Intimidation.
It's like, why are you wearing those robes?
I'm not a. I'm really sorry, sir, but I'm not a monk. I'm a traveller. And I'm not wearing robes. I'm wearing my cloak. They're wearing robes because they look like monks, whereas we were going for stealth, so we were travelling in our cloaks. Matt.
Say it again. Oh, right, you're in your cloaks. Okay, yeah. All right, you're right. Okay. He's just like, okay, we'll go back then. We'll say, you look rather odd. You're a big lad. What sort of armor is that? And he sort of starts to walk over towards you to have a look.
I'm gonna. Oh God. It's bespoke armor. I had an awful accident when I was younger, and so I've been working as a mercenary. And part of my payment for one of my jobs from a blacksmith was with some armor that was designed to hide my scars to my face and around my around my torso. Because I was already
Roll me deception.
an attractive person.
Roll me
but-
deception.
At least it's not a crit because he got a 2 and he got the -1.
Yeah. He's like, "Are you telling me fibs? Are you telling me fibs? I don't think that's covering you. I think you're one of those. I think you're one of those automatons. I read about you." And he sort of starts advancing towards you.
Right, I'm going to knock him out discreetly.
This went down
This
real
is
fast.
where it starts going wrong.
Yep.
Sorry, Goose. It's time to buzz the tower.
So he walks over to you, and you just kind of well, I don't know. Explain to me how you're going to do it.
Did smack at the top of the head method that worked in the bar?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he walks over to you, and you literally just punch him, and he conks out as you place him back on one of the hammocks. There's nobody in the area to have seen you, so.
Very lucky.
So he is currently unconscious. I will give him a little symbol. There's no. Is there like a sleepy symbol somewhere around?
Sure, you can set states on them.
Yeah, that's it. I'm trying to, but it doesn't seem to. There doesn't seem to be a sleepy thing. I'm just going to give him a
Prone or unconscious or something.
yeah. I'm going to give him something like he's got arrows in his back, but just
That'll learn him.
that'll learn him. Okay, yeah. So you've done that. Draken, you're up.
Conversation.
Okay, Jack can just keep walking down, mind his own business, and gets to Lance.
Okay. 1
Basically,
minute.
like, does the bless you, my son.
Yep. Okay, you're fine. That's all right. Thomas.
Heading on to
Okay. Is there anybody in there? Is anybody going to? Okay. There's a fisherman on the other side of the of the pier, and he sort of walks over to you, and he's just like, "All right, father, what are you doing in these parts?"
I'm
That's a
taking
really
in
good
the
word.
taking in the sea air whilst on a break from my studies in the monastery.
Roll me deception.
Oh no.
Hmm.
Oh, get in.
Oh,
Nice. Nice. A credit. Oh, brilliant. Okay. And he's like, "Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Oh, very good. I won't bother you any further then." And he sort of takes himself off over here. He also actually, I also he says if you ever need a good boatman, you let me know, father. I'll take you wherever you want, free of charge.
Bless you, my son.
Galandra.
Punching people out.
I work out which way I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna carry on down this way. Whichever, however is 30 feet. Oh, whichever.
Yep, you're all right. Okay. And finally, Val.
Me, and I'm just gonna continue following Thomas.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah. Yep, you're right. The guy, the fisherman, sort of kind of looks over at you and sort of, you can see he's slightly sort of like, wow, there's, but he assumes that you're with the monk, so he just sort of leaves you be, sort of gives you a nod. Okay, so we'll leave it there then, for this week, and next week will probably be a bit more action packed, depending on where you go.
Hooray.
So yeah, that's it. That's your first session, Wes. Obviously, the first one's going to be slightly tamer. Things tend to be a bit more interesting as you get along. Things, lots of bad dice rolls causes all kinds of havoc. But yeah, that's it. That's
to be fair, that's not been too bad for his first one, seeing as the first time we played, we got in a fight, accused some guy of cheating, knocked somebody out.
Pissed
Yeah.
the entire time.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you've managed to get into the town. Your ring of fate has worked. And you got into town stealthily. You didn't. You haven't aroused any suspicion. You've met a kid who sort of seems happy enough with his little shell. He's run off. And so far so good. Everybody seems to be just sort of getting on with their business. Nobody sort of seems to be bothered by the fact that you're currently in the town. So yeah, we'll leave it there. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. It's been great. It's good to be back again after a week. It's felt like too long. Glad to have Wes on board, so be looking forward to seeing some shenanigans with him going forwards. Hopefully, he won't be as what's the word? Foolhardy as the last one. Brash. But yeah. So we're going to leave it there. I will add on. I've got to do some updates from the World Anvil page. I'm probably going to do a session 0 video at some point as well, which will just break down the history of what's gone on, what's happened so far up to this point, so people who want to can catch up with it. But for that, I've been Matt Geary. With me has been Danny as Galandra Rivenstar.
Night, guys.
Michael as Tharaval.
Night, guys.
Wes as I'm going to get this right. Valashul Nostius.
Good night, everyone.
Dave as Thomas Moonstar. Mark as Lance.
It's been cool.
And Pete as Draken.
Look after each other and stay safe.
Cheers, everybody. Good night. Bye.
Good night.